iPads are what many people use as a computer replacement. I mean, they use the same chips as Macs, and they're just so much better for watching content, reading, or doom scrolling. But what if you want to get things done with it, like you do with the laptop? Then you probably want a nice little desk setup. So let's talk about the iPad desk setup I put together and some tips and tricks for you to create the perfect one for yourself. So let's talk about your iPad first. The way modern iPads are, they're capable of being much more than just a slab of glass that you hand a kid to keep them distracted for hours. Because they're also slabs of glass that you hand an adult to keep them distracted for hours. Oh. That shape makes it portable, and while most people are used to just touching the iPad and smudging up the screen, iPads have USB Type-C ports, just like a computer, and actually have support for a lot of things you plug into and use on your computer daily, like mice, keyboards, speakers, microphones, external hard drives, or even webcams. And that's not counting all of the things that you can connect to it with Bluetooth as well. So building a setup around an iPad should be super easy, right? Well, sorta. See, while you could probably build a setup around one of those older iPads with the Lightning port, you're gonna get the best results with a newer iPad with USB Type-C. And that's because USB Type-C, at least on the newer iPads, are fast, versatile, and there's so many different accessories that can use it. So keep in mind, this entire video focuses on USB Type-C iPads, and more specifically, ones that support extended displays, which Apple labels as these models or later if you're living in 2030 or something. So now we have an iPad with USB Type-C in mind. How do we build around it so that it accomplishes something like what's behind me here? Well, that USB-C port I keep bringing up, obviously your iPad only has one port. So unless you get a mutated iPad from the Apple factories, you can't just plug in many things at once right off the bat. So you have two options. The first is just to get a USB Type-C dock or dongle. These things just plug directly into your iPad like it does on a computer, and it gives you access to all the ports that's on the dock or dongle. That's simple enough, right? There's plenty of options out there for whatever type of setup you're going for, so just find what suits you best. I'll put a few down in the description along with anything else I bring up, just in case you're interested in checking those items out. The other option is to find a monitor that already has USB Type-C built into it that supports powering whatever's connected, supports display, and supports data. This might require digging into the specs a little bit, but this is a pretty common feature for mid to high range monitors now. So you got this. So in my own space, the monitors I use that have this feature is this Dell Ultra Sharp monitor and this BenQ PD monitor. So after we decide how to approach all of that, we have a great base to connect all of our different accessories to. So since I brought it up, let's talk about displays real quick. iPads, at least right now, only support adding one external monitor, but you're able to fully use the entire screen of most monitors alongside your iPad's display in kind of like a dual display setup, even with ultra-wide monitors if you want to. Depending on your iPad model, you have support for different resolutions and frame rates, with some of the newer iPad Pros supporting up to a 6K 60Hz refresh rate monitor. So I'd look up your iPad model to make sure it specifically supports what monitor you're trying to connect to it, or else you're gonna have a bad time. Also, if you don't already have a monitor, I'd really recommend a 4K IPS monitor, or at least a 1440p IPS monitor. See, if you look at your iPad, the resolution looks crisp because it's a pretty high resolution screen already. And since iPads aren't strapped to your face like a phone, it looks fantastic a foot or two away from your face. But if you pair a 1080p monitor or a giant 1440p monitor with your iPad, you're gonna notice this huge display quality difference between your iPad and your monitor. It's gonna look really fuzzy and pixelated. So if you're looking for a monitor that's somewhere even close to the pixel density of your iPad, get a higher resolution display, especially one that's IPS, or if you're a big baller, you still got a fat wallet after spending all that money on an iPad, go OLED. At this point, you have everything sorted out, everything from the display to all the ways to connect to your iPad. And now it's pretty easy to find accessories that you personally like to use that just plug directly into your iPad. So to give you an idea of what you can use, I'll talk about my own setup. For speakers, I like to just use my iPad's built-in speakers because they're decent enough already, and they're included in the cost of the iPad until Apple figures out a way to charge for those too. And if I want a better audio experience, I just connect AirPods or headphones. But if you're going speakers, I really like these. They're USB powered speakers that sound good for their price. And if you do decide to connect a bunch of different audio devices to your iPad, like maybe Bluetooth headphones and USB speakers at the same time, you can adjust and switch between what's playing audio directly through Control Center. As for keyboards and mice, I do like Apple's Magic keyboards for their iPads because they just, well, it's kind of hard to do it from here. It's easier on a table. They just magnetically attach and you get extra USB-C ports that support only charging. So with the Magic Keyboard, I have a mouse and keyboard connected all the time. But if you do decide to not go that route, any Bluetooth mouse and keyboard and even wired ones will work just fine. I usually end up using the tried and true MX Master 3S and MX Keys Mechanical because they can pair up to 3 different devices at once. This way, if I get tired of my iPad or I'm not using my iPad for this purpose, I can use those peripherals with other computers quickly too. You'll probably find out that when trying to use your iPad as a productivity machine, that you want to move large files to your iPad or to a different computer altogether. And you can do that by connecting external hard drives or SD cards directly to your iPad. And this really does make the iPad feel much more computer-like. You could make use of iCloud or Google Drive to keep your files in a single place too, to just make life just a little bit easier on you. And if you have a NAS or home server, you can connect to it directly from your iPad through the Files app. You can also connect to your NAS or server through Ethernet if your dock supports Ethernet for a more stable connection. So there's lots of ways you can move files around and make your iPad more computer friendly in the process. All right, so here's one external device that I personally think is a little unnecessary for your iPad: webcams, because your iPad already has a webcam, the front-facing built-in camera. But I can also see why for a desk setup, you'd want one separately. With an external webcam, you can mount it at a better angle so that it's not looking up your nose. And many third-party webcams work fine just right out of the box plugged into your iPad. But you usually can't access their software to tweak settings on your iPad, only on a computer. So that removes a lot of the great functionality that you normally get from a third-party webcam. So in my own opinion, adding an external webcam just feels like a side grade, if anything. So I would kind of shy away from it and just use what's provided on your iPad, unless of course you like laying your iPad flat or something to draw and still need a camera looking straight at you without staring directly up into your nostrils. So with a laptop-focused desk setup, people usually either close their laptop screen and move it out of the way to use other accessories, mount their laptops to give it a better angle, or straight up just place it right in front of them to use the display, trackpad, and keyboard. With an iPad, you can get an iPad stand to hold and angle your iPad to the perfect orientation for yourself. There are some pretty nice magnetic ones that just attach to your iPad, but they're usually unique to specific iPad models and get pretty expensive. So when the day comes and you decide to replace your iPad, you might find yourself looking for a new expensive stand too. That's why a more generic stand might be, well, a little less aesthetic looking, but could be the better choice overall. Or as a complete budget option, you can just place your iPad in front of you using its case as a stand, as a secondary bottom monitor. Okay, personally, I'm not huge into dedicated microphones at my desk anymore. You can find out why in more detail in this video where I talk about my favorite desk accessories. But to sum it up, I just usually rely on the mics built into my device for calls. So in this case, the iPad and whatever earbuds I'm using at the moment. Great mic quality on an iPad is completely wasted on me, and I am not blind to that fact. But they also do have some great uses on the iPad. You can use them as an input for different apps. But again, I don't use much audio recording apps on iPad, so I can't really comment on how useful this is myself. Okay, with everything I talked about so far, your iPad should now be ready to be a workhorse of a machine with a desk suited perfectly for it. But I also want to be realistic with you now. So here's my experience. I've used an iPad Focus setup on and off for the last few years, and it has improved over time thanks to OS updates, to the point where it's plenty usable now and not just a direct screen mirroring. External display support makes you more productive than just being limited by a single 11 to 13 inch iPad display, and you get so much more room to float apps around on the extended monitor so that you can reference different materials you're reading or to have YouTube or social media on the screen at the exact same time. Since all the apps are iPhone or iPad sized, it's, in my opinion, a lot easier to tile them on your screen compared to macOS or Windows. I feel claustrophobic having just 2 items on a computer screen at once, and it feels a lot less cramped on my screen with these smaller, information-packed iPhone-sized windows. All the accessories I mentioned work with the iPad perfectly and really makes it feel so similar to a computer. And the nice part is, since the setup uses a single USB-C cable, this setup is pretty device agnostic. So anything with a USB-C port can plug directly into it. I can unplug my iPad and connect my laptop, or connect my handheld gaming PC, and everything is connected and working as expected. But while I truly believe using your iPad this way solves about 90 to 95% of a regular person's computing needs, some iPadisms are annoying to deal with. Like, there's just some weird glitchiness sometimes when you're using a second monitor. So just to name a few items, right? Pressing the status bar on top of the external monitor opens up Control Center on the iPad screen, not on the monitor you're using it on. I've gotten weird frozen screens in the past when I tried putting some demanding apps like games on the external monitor, and sometimes resizing apps just causes some wacky outcomes. It's not perfect, and some of the apps or programs that you use every single day on a Mac or PC could have cut down versions on the iPad and don't support all the features and functions that you might need, or just aren't supported like it is on a Mac or PC. Because if certain apps or programs are deal breakers, this might not be the best approach. But overall, having a dedicated iPad setup makes the iPad feel so close to being that all-in-one device that handles tablet, laptop, and technically desktop duties. It does all these things decently well right now. So at this point, it's conclusion time, huh? If you're solely an iPad user who's given up the life of the laptop for their daily device, I'm proud of you. You're making something simpler work out for you, and at the same time, creating a desk setup like this might bring back some of those computer-like functionality that you're missing. And if so, I hope this video helps you out. And for the people who can't imagine giving up their laptop full-time, but think it'd be nice to be part-time on an iPad as an only device, maybe it'd be better to just adjust your current computer setup to be more iPad or even multi-device friendlier. Anyway, what do you think? Are you looking to use your iPad for more productivity type tasks? Or have you gone even further than that already? Did you find any of these tips useful? Are you thinking of just straight up switching to an iPad for all of your computing needs? Once iPads support editing macOS Final Cut Pro libraries, I think I might just switch completely. There's nothing else truthfully holding me down strictly to macOS. So leave all your comments down below, and if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you all next time.